Hi everyone, this is Jennifer with Froggy One and Knitting, and this is not going to be a yarny chat, so I apologize for that in advance. I was going to talk to you about my eyesight. You all see that I wear eyeglasses, but my eyeglasses do not correct my vision to 20/20 like most people's do. And as I sit here and I turn a little bit, you can see this little part of my eyeglasses. It's on both lenses. That doesn't make these bifocals like in a traditional sense. That is a very powerful magnifier for my eyeglasses. I don't know if you can tell that it's magnifying or not, but that is to help me when I look at things. My eyeglasses only bring my vision to 20/200. And if you don't know what that means, what it means is what an average person sees at 200 feet away is what I see at 20 feet away. So even with my eyeglasses, I am considered legally blind. So I thought I would show you. I have 2 letters of statement of legal blindness. Here's one. This was done by the Department of the Blind in Virginia, their doctor. Here's another one. This is by my retina guy, my retina specialist. There's his name, Timothy Burns, and he's at Vistar Eye Center. And this one right here tells you, if you can see, I don't know if it's backwards or not for you, but I am 20/200 with corrected lenses. And it also says on there that there's no chance for improvement in my vision. And I've blocked out my address. I receive Social Security benefits for my blindness. I had received some questions about my blindness and about wearing glasses. Yes, I wear the glasses to bring my vision up to 20/200. Without my glasses, I can't see anything but blurs of color. This now makes it still blurry, but not as bad. I have different things that I use to help me with my blindness. I'm going to turn this around, and hopefully you can see some of the things that I use. When I'm using my computer goes on that TV. See, there's my laptop. And it actually will show up on that television. And I don't use the regular laptop keyboard. I have a big keyboard attached to my laptop. Weird, huh? I can't see the keyboard. I just can't see it. Kind of crazy. But my laptop screen shows up on the television. And that's how I see it. It's still blurry to me. But it's not like trying to see it on the laptop screen. That's really bad. And then another thing that I use is I have this magnifier. It has a light on it to see. But I use this magnifier and it makes the words really big. And that's how I'm able to read some things, like in patterns and stuff. It makes words on the paper. I don't know if it's going to show up on there or not. It shows up for me. There we go. See? Then I can turn, well, that blew it out really bad. That helps me a great deal. And I do walk with a guide cane. This is my guide cane. It is 52 inches long. It is well loved. This is the tip on the guide cane. It actually rolls. It's a marshmallow rolling tip. My cane was made by Ambutech. I did not buy my cane. It was given to me. There we go. There's the end of it. It's got like a golf handle. It's flat on one side. And it goes all the way down. There we go. And there it is. And it folds up. It was given to me by the Virginia Department of the Blind when I did what's called O&M training, or orientation and mobility training, where I learned to walk with a cane, learned to cross streets with the cane, go up and down stairs, basically to walk anywhere, go in the stores by myself, all kinds of things like that. So I love my cane. My cane has a name. I named my cane Mo because I can do Mo now with my cane. It gives me all kinds of freedom. And I love my cane. I don't leave home without it. To do this video, I had to get my son to go get my cane out of the car. We have a Durango. Out of our Durango, because I leave it in the Durango. I do not use my cane around the house. I don't need to. Like, I'm sure most of you could probably walk through your own home blindfolded. I can go through my home in the dark. I know where everything is. Occasionally things might be falling in the floor or something, and I don't see them, so I step on them. So I wear shoes in my house all the time. I have a nice pair of house shoes, I call them, I guess. I guess you could call these house shoes. It's, look at my dirty shoe. It's a pair of Skechers, but they have a really thick sole on them. Boy, they are really bad. But they have a nice thick sole on these, so that if I step on anything in the house, I won't cut my feet. And it makes a big difference for me, because I can't see if it's on the floor, you know. But it also makes for funny things too. If my family, you know, puts bubble wrap on the floor or something, I can't see it. So yeah, I would step on it, and it's funny. Here's a good example. The strong magnifiers at the bottom of my glasses make it so I can look at my insulin pump. I am a type 1 diabetic. I have an insulin pump. My sugar's high. So here's my insulin pump. Has a continuous glucose monitor, so it tells me what my blood sugar is every 5 minutes. But I can see it with my magnifiers. Little blurry, but I can read it enough, so I'm able to use that. Love my insulin pump. So that's really neat. If you have any questions about my vision, you can go ahead and ask me in the comment section. I don't mind answering them as long as they're not rude. You know, I've worn glasses since I was 3 years old. I had an astigmatism. Now, what has happened to me, a couple years ago, I developed macular degeneration some years ago, but in the past couple of years, it's gotten worse. And I have distortions in my central vision. My peripheral vision seems to be okay. I mean, it's not as bad, but my central vision is gone. So a lot of times people will see me looking up, and that's just because I can see this way. It's kind of disconcerting to people when you're talking to them in person. What are you gonna do? You can't, you know, I know to look at people in the face, but it's easier for me to, if I want to see them, to not look them in the face. So that's why my hair's always messy. Can't see it. I do my best. Usually if my hair looks great, it's because somebody else helped me with it. You know, what are you going to do? You know? I do the best that I can. You know? Besides the macular degeneration, I also have diabetic retinopathy. The retinopathy is not that bad. I mean, it is prolific, meaning it's throughout the eye. But the macular degeneration is what's so bad. It's worse in my right eye than it is in my left. So my left eye is my better eye. When I crochet or I knit, I mainly do it by feel, not by sight. I can do it by sight, but when I do that, I'm using this. So, or I'm holding it up really close in my hands. I have a bad habit because crocheting for so many years, of looking down when I'm crocheting. It's still a blur of color, but I guess I'm like everybody else. I just look down at what my hands are doing. I can't see it, but I still look down. But I really can't see. And to have someone question that because I wear glasses and say that I wasn't blind was kind of rude. I am blind. They took away my driver's license a couple years ago. That was hard, to have to give up your driver's license. That was really hard, you know. And believe it or not, it's kind of hard to have to get a handicap placard when you think you're fine. But they would prefer me to park in handicap so I don't have to walk all the way across a parking lot and not be able to see cars and stuff that might, pull out in front of me. It's hard for that. And then to be able to go in public around where I live, which is it's not a big town. I live in a small town, and be using my cane. I can't see faces or anything, and people think I'm rude because I don't wave at them, but I can't see them. If I don't hear their voice, I can't see them. I don't know them. And just there are people out there that are rude. A good example is like going to the grocery store, and I actually had a lady run into me in one of those little buggies that they ride around in the grocery store. I had a lady literally run into me. I never seen her, but she ran right into me. I don't know how she didn't see me. I had my cane. I'm walking with my cane. Another example that people do to blind people. I went to a clinic in a town next to ours, and my husband had to step outside to take a phone call from work. And I walked up to the desk and I said, "Ma'am, I require some assistance. I'm visually impaired." And she says, "Well, X-ray is down here and blood work is over there." And she repeated it louder. And I said, "Ma'am, you don't understand. I can't see, and I'm holding up my cane." And then she just said the whole thing over again, even louder. We went back and forth a few times, me trying to explain to her my visual impairment and that I could not see where she was telling me to go. And all she kept doing was repeating herself, louder and louder each time. Wow. I got embarrassed. And I walked away. I found my way to the waiting room, and I sat down. And I cried. And my husband came, and he found me. And he asked me what was wrong because I was upset. And I explained to him what had happened. And he immediately calmed me down and took care of where I needed to be because I was having some tests done. Took care of where I needed to be and everything. And I talked to my worker with Department of the Blind about what had happened. And so obviously she called them because that wasn't good. And she encouraged me to write them a note and call them and tell them how I was treated. So I did. And I'm glad that I did. But I wasn't glad with the outcome after I had done it, but I did. I mean, when I had done that, they had stated that, the woman had tried to assist me, but she did not. And then eventually they said they were going to retrain her. But Department of the Blind stepped in and took care of that for me, which I'm really glad that they are advocates for people like me. But you would be surprised about how rude people can be. That's not to say that everyone is. They're not. They just stick out in my head. Majority of the people are very polite and kind to me. I've had little, children come and ask me about my cane, and I tell them all about it, and I explain it to them. Lots of people have been nothing but polite and kind, and I really appreciate that, So in the future, if you ever meet someone with a cane and you want to assist them, don't ever grab their arm. Offer your arm to them, and if they reach their hand out, guide their hand to your arm. Don't grab them. You know, if you meet somebody with a guide dog, don't give directions to the guide dog. Give them to the blind person. You'd be surprised how many people will give directions to the dog. I don't know why. They just do. But treat blind people like you would anyone else. And the only difference between them and you is they just can't see. But they're just as intelligent. They really are. I've met a lot of amazing blind people out there. They're wonderful people. They're just amazing people. They can do amazing things. And they can do anything pretty much that you can do. You'd be surprised what they can do. We have a doctor in a town next to mine. A man who was blind at birth and became a doctor. That is wonderful. You know? Hey, I still crochet and knit. And I have a YouTube channel. That's pretty crazy too. So, well, this video is getting long. And I am sorry that it's a little long. So, if you have any questions about my blindness or about blindness in general, feel free to ask me. There are some other people on here that you can follow too and to learn all about blind people and stuff. And they're really great people. And get to know them. I think they're fabulous. So, anyway, stay safe. Love to you all. And big hugs, and happy yarning. Bye now.